What is up, guys? Alex from ANAK Creates here. Welcome back to another video. And today I want to talk to you about a few exercises you can do to become a better producer, engineer, or mixer. These are things that I do myself, as well as get my students that I mentor to do to help push their creative limits as well as their technical knowledge. Whether you're struggling in a creative rut or looking for something to help spark some new ideas, or just looking for an excuse to push your technical knowledge, I have 7 different ideas for you today, and they're not scientific. You can change them to your liking, but the overarching theme that you'll notice is that by putting constraints on your creativity, it'll actually help you flourish. So let's dive into it. Number 1, recreating a beat. Pick a beat from a song that you really like and try and recreate it, and then maybe even improve on it. By doing this, you'll force yourself to really learn in depth what the different elements within that beat are doing, how they work together, why they might have been crafted that way, and frankly, why you like it and what attracted you to it in the first place. Number 2 is recreating a specific sound. This can go right along with recreating a beat, where you pick an element in a song, a kick drum sound. This could be some guitar sounds. This could be a specific synth sound. In essence, you're trying to reverse engineer a specific sound or tone and learn how they did that so that you can better understand not only the sound itself, but also the tools that you have to create your own unique sounds moving forward. Number 3, create multiple things with the specific set of elements. If you have a cool synth sound or a guitar sound or a new sample pack, try and create multiple different beats or songs with just those elements. They'll sound somewhat similar because they're the same sounds, but it'll force you to try and make them sound as different as possible while using just the same elements. And of course, use different effects that you have at your disposal to make them sound even more different. Screw the sounds up even more because you never know where it might lead. Number 4, create a cover song. Now, there are 2 different ways to do this, and I have made a video on why cover songs make you a better producer, which I'll link up here and in the description below. But in essence, trying to recreate a cover song as closely as you can to the original lets you dive into how they crafted the different songs and the structure and the overall song itself. You get to really learn how to try and create those sounds. This is great if you're an engineer or an artist trying to really understand a song that you really like, why you like it. The second way to approach a cover song is to reimagine it. Try and do a completely different rendition of that song. This is my preferred method, and I've done a few cover songs like that already on this channel, so you can go check those out as well. But recreating the song in maybe a completely different genre with completely different sounds, but maintaining the melody and the lyrics, will force you to create in a certain way, but still within the constraints of it being that song. Number 5, create something in a different genre. Find a genre that you are less familiar with, and then create stuff within that genre. Study different songs within that genre, use them as references to try and create your own thing in that genre. It can help you better understand that genre, the different sounds in that genre, the different song structures that they have, but still you're infusing your own genre or something you're more familiar with that genre. And sometimes the collide of those 2 things can create some interesting stuff. I personally like to do this with rap or R&B style stuff because it's stuff that I don't listen to a lot of or gravitate towards. But when I'm creating in that genre and run up against problems, I then study other songs within that genre and learn something new about how they craft their songs, how they craft their song structure, how they make their songs grow or develop. And then I try and do that with the tools that I have at my disposal, which makes me understand my tools even better, such as how to create different kinds of synth sounds. And then I bring that back to my other productions in genres I know, but now I have a new set of tools to be able to use. Number 6, which kind of follows up on that, is pick a song structure and copy it. Find a song within your own genre or a different style completely, and really dive in and understand how that song was crafted, how the song ebbs and flows, how they use certain production elements to grow the chorus or break down the verses, even just how they repeated different things throughout the song or didn't repeat certain things, and then recreate that within your own production. This will give you some different tools and a different approach to the song itself. This can open you up to a different song structure than what you would naturally gravitate towards yourself. And finally, number 7, pick a constraint and work within it. Now, this can sound like a bit of a blanket statement, but depending on what you're trying to do, where you want to push yourself, what you're trying to learn, you can use certain restraints to try and help you think outside the box in other regards. You'll be forced to think creatively and find different solutions to problems than you would normally reach for. This can be a really good one for technical knowledge, to push yourself and understand your tools better. Now, some examples that I like to use. Pick only a certain set of plugins that you can use. Either just use stock plugins, or just use wave plugins, or just use these 10 plugins and that's all you can use. Use no plugin presets, or only use plugin presets. Force yourself to use just one sample pack to create a song, or only use pre-made loops, or Don't use pre-made loops. Limit yourself to 20 plugins over your whole mix, not 20 different plugins, 20 plugin instances in total. So you limit yourself in how many instances of any plugin you can use, and you have to pick exactly where you want it to go. Kind of like back in the day when they only had a set amount of hardware that they could use on any given mix. And last, one of my favorites is give yourself a time limit. It helps with your decision-making process to actually go through and finish the song. I have a friend who did an exercise for a couple of months, I think, where he wrote a song a day, and he would write the song in the morning and try and produce it in the afternoon. This was at the beginning of the COVID lockdowns, so he had lots of time to do this, but he would force himself to do that song in that day. If he liked the song by the end of it, he would kind of put it to the side and come back to it at a later date, and if he didn't, it was fine. It was just that day's worth of work. But I also know of different producers who limit themselves to 2 hours or 1 hour. You create a beat in an hour and then move on to the next one. Another beat in an hour, and just do that for an entire day or even multiple days, just to try and get as many different ideas as possible. There's no pressure on any one single song or idea because it's just going in a bank of ideas to pull from later. What these different constraints will do is force you to learn your tools better, make different decisions, and try things that you might not have tried otherwise. The biggest thing is whatever rule or constraint you put on yourself, actually stick to it. This will force you to think creatively outside of the box and not just reach for the tools that you already know and know will do the job and just be done with it. You actually have to think how to use a certain plugin better. What other things can I do in this production other than just doing what I already know will work? That is where the magic lies, and that's where your knowledge expands. Now, when doing any of these exercises, what you'll find sometimes is that you'll go down a technical rabbit hole trying to figure something out, trying to study a different song, and that can derail you from the creativity of making the song. That's fine. That's kind of the point. These are excuses for you to allow that to happen. Not when you're in a song that you really, really love and you have to get it done, or you're working for a client and it just has to be done. You can actually take time to go down those technical rabbit holes, learn a new tool, or learn a new trick that you can then apply without having to think about it. The more you have to think about the techniques and tools you're using, the less creative it becomes. So these exercises are to help you better learn those tools so you can do them subconsciously in the flow state of creativity when it matters most. And the bonus to it all is that most of the time you actually come up with some really cool stuff that you'll end up using later on down the road. But that is it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and leave a comment down below if you have any other exercises that you like to do within this same vein. What constraints do you like to put on yourself to help you create better and learn more? Subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you in the next video. Until then, always be creating.